Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys heard ladies because I think mine was still muted. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats. It's a little bit ridiculous, but welcome to the Investing Bros live show. We are so glad you guys are joining us today. We have a lot to discuss because in case you have been sleeping all day and you have not checked out any of the charts, crypto is dipping at the moment. Let's not call it a crash. Let's not call it something massive. It's just retracing. And we thought that Monday was actually be a pump. There's a lot of momentum as for why today should be bullish. I'll be interested to see what we do overnight. But maybe the biggest question of the day, we got some charts to look at. We've got some news to take a look at. But Solana, the hottest altcoin of this bull market so far, looks potentially like it could be vulnerable to some form of a steep correction. We are going to talk about that and a whole lot more in this video. I am joined once again by my co-host, T-Shroom. He's back from vacation. And T-Shroom, really quickly, tell everyone how you're doing. I just realized my door is wide open. So everyone just walking up and down the hallway is hearing a glorious intro to Investing Bros live show. But I'm going to close that door and so I don't bother them anymore. Give me a second.
Excellent. Well, Tim cannot hear me now, but the door is open, and sometimes life opens a door, and when life opens a door, you have to open it sometimes. Even though it's already open, you have to open the door behind the door, which brings me to the quote of the day, which is, "The nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible." Audrey Hepburn, with a little bit of wordplay. There.
Yeah, we found out Audrey Hepburn is not the person that played on Parks and Rec.
Nope.
That's it's Audrey something, but I don't know what
Audrey Plaza.
Plaza. Okay.
Yeesh.
You don't come across someone named Audrey every day.
I don't.
It's not impossible for it to be Audrey Plaza.
We got a couple of hats on, Tim. We're turning into the hat bros here.
Yeah. Someone said last week they don't like when we wear hats. I don't know what your excuse is. I need a haircut. I need a haircut bad, and I've been putting it off. In case you guys didn't know, I stay pretty busy between having several jobs, running a YouTube channel, and being the father of a very energetic and demanding 10-month-old son. It's hard to find a time to go get a haircut. Now, could I do it? I could. I have been slightly lazy. With the limited free time that I have, I use that usually to rest. But I do need to do that, and then I will stop wearing a hat for sure. Now, fun fact, the hat that T-Shroom is wearing belongs to a company that him and I actually have both worked for. It's not a crypto hat. That's not Diamond Hands hat. That is Emerald Data IT Services. So if you are anywhere in Central and Northern Florida, and you have IT needs, reach out to Emerald Data. They do not sponsor the channel, but they are the hat that T-Shroom is wearing. Fun fact for you guys right there.
Tim, I've got an even funner fact. I see your fun fact.
This isn't even the factoid of the day. This is just a fun fact.
This is Dash Stylists, who they really want us to be partnered. We're going to make clear they're not partnered, but they will find your local at-home hairstylist or barber in Atlanta, Georgia. So there's no excuse. You can literally get a $30. There's no way it's only $30. They're going to come to your house and cut your hair, and it's only $30.
That's pretty good.
But if you're a woman, it's more expensive because of the woman tax.
Yeah,
the Audrey Hepburn tax.
It's about right. In our world, women get paid 3/4 as much, but have to pay close to double.
Yeah,
it seems right and seems fair. Don't you think so, T-Shroom?
It does.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's get into some crypto. T-Shroom comes back from vacation and we have some fun. Let's check out what the markets are looking like today. Overall, kind of red. Now, we are getting a bounce back in the hour. And I'll let you guys know, those of you who are members, today I haven't seen as many people active there. But if you are a member and you're in our trading group, I let you guys know a little bit over an hour ago. Hey, guys, look like a short-term bounce on the 15-minute chart. Sure enough, that is playing out. But we are down overall today. Bitcoin down 2.3. Ethereum continuing to rock. We're going to check out. We did it on Saturday as well. But we're going to take a look at that ETH over Bitcoin chart because that is continuing to bleed. Let's see what else is moving pretty fast. Solana down 4.29. Again, we're going to be talking about them a lot today. XRP down 3%. Dogecoin, of course, had a big week last week, but down 6% today. Cardano down 4.7. Avalanche down 4.7. That kind of rounds out our top 10. Shiba Inu right outside, down 7%. So far the biggest. Let's see what the other biggest gainers and biggest losers are. Core, and I think they are a circle behind me, aren't they? Yes. The circle behind me says 66%. Last 24 hours says 67%. So Core, you big mover. T-Shroom, do we know anything about Core whatsoever? I don't even know if this was a top 10 coin yesterday morning. I think this might, or not top 10, sorry, top 100. It's at number 45 now, but how much of that came in the last, well, I don't know if 24 hours would have done it in there, but it probably wasn't a top, it probably hasn't been a top 100 coin for very long. I guess we'll put it that way. What do you know anything about Core, T-Shroom?
No, I mean, no, I do not. And there will continue to be cryptos that will pop up and have, 50%, 80% days, well into the bull market that you will have never heard of. And that's okay. Yeah. Does that mean that you're an idiot? It does not. It means that there's a lot of cryptos. And, we'll see. We'll see if Core sticks around. We saw what was it, Bohm, that came out of nowhere and just filled up that entire crypto bubbles chart. That is so cool, but these are sometimes fly by nights. Now, Core looks to me like it may have some core value that it's delivering to its hodlers, but I don't know. So we'll have to, hopefully we'll be able to look much more into projects here as our resources expand. We'll be able to have a lot more of an in-depth look into all kinds of different coins.
Check out this chart for Core real quick. Look at the last week and some change here. One red day in this little sliver, but otherwise just nothing but upward action since back here on the 23rd. Again, back here a week ago, not a top 100 coin. Nonstop bullish action. Look at that volume coming in. That is why it is sitting at number 45 in our biggest gainer of the day. So, you learn new things every single day. Let's take a look at the biggest losers, though, because there's probably going to be a plethora of them. Conflux coming in down 16%. Ondo continues to bleed. It's been a big last couple of 90 days. Again, even with all the blood in the last 7 days, in the last 24 hours, still up 454% in the last 90 days. So a big project that had big gains. Cool-offs, though, are part of the norm. Same thing with Pepe. Actually, even bigger gain in the last 90 days, but it is down 10% today. Ordi is down almost 10% as well. Tia, Bonk, Dog with Hat, a lot of meme coins in our biggest losers of the day. That is a recipe for bearish price action overall in the markets. Let's go ahead and jump on in and let's talk about some charts. I do want you guys to know the charts today are brought to you guys by Lux Algo. We use them every single day, especially if you are serious about trading and you want to kill it. Lux Algo is the way. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Even though I use traditional TA for longer term stuff, recently Lux Algo has been killing it so much for me on my trade calls. I rarely use other things other than Lux Algo to trade. There's a link down below. Go check them out. You make your money today. Bitcoin bouncing back up here. I'm on the 15-minute chart. I was doing a lot of trade looking around today. Bouncing back up. I told you again, our community roughly a little over an hour ago, we came down and we dipped down, but we set up some bullish divergence where the price action on price got lower, but the RSI and the oscillator set higher lows. So we had our bearish divergence. Yes, you're going to see a take profit a little bit lower here, but that's because that's the second one it triggered. This is just how great Lux is. Let's take a look over here. If I were to replay this, just show you guys what you would have been looking at here on the 15-minute chart with Lux Algo. Check it out. We get a bearish flash, right? You guys see that happen? Let's play it out. The candles come, hits our take profit. Just a couple of candles later here on the 15-minute chart, you would have been in and out of your trade. Now we went so far, we reset the take profit, so that's why it's way down there. But now it's very much looking like we're bouncing back up. And I told people in our community, keep an eye. Let me get rid of this. There we go. Keep an eye on a bounce back up and rejection somewhere here in the smart trail concept. Again, that's exactly what it looks like we are doing at the moment. As a whole, 15-minute chart looking bullish. It's not as good of a story when you start climbing up the larger scales. Again, bullish 1 hour. I'll give it to you. We hit our take profit on the 1 hour. We're starting to see some positive money flow, positive momentum. The MACD is looking good. Love to see it. Let's see what the 4 hour is doing. 4 hours still quite bearish. We didn't get any red reversal recently. The last one that flashed was way back on March 25th, which is funny to say way back. That's not, really that long ago. But on the 4 hour chart, that's many, many, many candles ago. But you can see the combination of our money flow and our momentum and the MACD all going pretty negative. We also, here's something not to overlook. This is the RSI. Now, this is the Lux Algo version of RSI, so it kind of flashes and tells you exactly when you're flashing overbought, oversold. Those are this red and green is. But I've told you guys before in the RSI, when you're above the 50, as long as you keep bouncing off the 50, you're good to go. You're bullish. No problem. And you saw that happen 1, 2, 3 times on Bitcoin. The problem is this weekend, earlier this morning, we crossed below that 50. And while we're bouncing back up, I would not be surprised to see that RSI potentially reject somewhere close to, if not at the 50 on the RSI. It's spelling a little bit of doom. I told you guys, I made a tweet earlier today, but let the community know first. Again, one reason why you guys should be joining our memberships. I told you guys, listen, we see a lot of confluence coming in here now on the 4-hour chart, saying that the 64,000 we actually addressed about a week ago very much still in play. Why? Well, there's 3 things of confluence here Lux Algo is calling for. I already showed you, it's 4 things, really, because our oscillators are all negative, right? So I already addressed that. Now we have a take profit maximum level, a strong order block, and our 4 hours, 5. There's a lot here. Take profit, order block, smart trail concept, and our green support band here all coming in confluence here at $64,000. Let's check out what High Block is saying. Now, I was taking a look at 88 earlier. We'll have to look at a couple coins today, but let's go look at Bitcoin here on the monthly chart here on High Block. Check out what we've got going on here. It's actually, 1 month says it goes lower. We'll have to talk about that here in just a second. Let's go back to the 7-day to start off. There we go. Boom. Check out. We got a chunk of momentum right here. Let's go and zoom in so you guys can see this a little better. Yeah. Chunk of liquidations coming in right below us around 67,000. We lose it, and there's a big gap here right at about 66,000. But take a look at where the other level of big liquidity is sitting. Actually a little bit south of 64,000, coming down towards 63 by the time you get through all of the thick liquidity going on there. I just showed you the 1 month. Again, I'm just kind of focusing on the here and now, but the 1 month spells that you could see heavy liquidations bring us down to 60K, and then even more still saying potentially below 55. We don't have to fill those out, by the way. We don't have to do it. It's just something to keep an eye on. Take a look here at how spread we are, though. This is very, very, very confusing. We could technically go either way. This is definitely a day of saying could go up, could go down. When we're looking at this 1 month chart and we're seeing the heavy liquidations go as high as 80K, but at the same time, heavy liquidations going down to 55. This is a trader's dream if they guess correctly, but big, big swings could happen in either direction, and it would make a lot of sense from the liquidations chart. The traders, if they guess correctly, could still make a lot of money. But when I combine that with what I'm seeing here on the charts, again, short-term bounce back up, possibly back up into, this region here around 70K, maybe even. We have an order block sitting up there. We have smart show concept on the 1 hour, but the 4 hour saying, as we look at the next couple of days, next week or so, do not be surprised if we start off April with a little bit of a drought, a little bit of a cool off, coming back down towards 64,000. And then the question is, do we go even further down towards 60? Do we head down towards 55? We'll address that in future shows. But for right now, 4 hour chart, not necessarily looking good. And then we come over here to the daily chart. Let's see what it is saying. Daily chart, not what you want to see. Even after we came back up and hit the stop loss, we're still keeping our take profit down here in that range that goes between 61 down to 57. I pull up our oscillators. We take a look here. Money flow. It gave us a second where we said, all right, the momentum was bullish. The money flow started going positive again. The MACD started to go to the upside, but check it out, guys. MACD did not get a bullish cross. If I zoom in here, it did not get a bullish cross. It came close, rejected, and is now speeding up its downward movement. And of course, money flow negative once again. And after that bounce originally at the 50 on the RSI, we could not climb back up to higher levels on the RSI, and we're going back down to retest that 50 once again. So again, is this something that we're running for the hills and selling all of our Bitcoin, preparing for 55,000? Not necessarily. However, if you're thinking today's a shoe-in for bullish action, the 4 hour and daily would argue with you that that's not quite the case. Now, we can take a look at some more coins here in a second, T-Stream. I want to get your thoughts, your takes based off of, you were on vacation last week. You can go back to BroCam here for a second. You're on vacation last week. Apparently, I guess, when you come back, it's a bearish thing for the markets. You probably should just, both of us, when we go on vacation, we should just stay for extended periods of time because we come back and we ruin all the momentum going on. What are your perspectives coming back here on this Monday? Again, a lot of people thinking we'd have bullish price action, but it's instead going the opposite direction. Tell me what you're thinking on right now when you're looking at the charts.
Well, I mean, my overall strategy is just to buy dips. Right now, MSTR is extremely attractive. That'd be MicroStrategies. If you're in the United States, you can use just a common brokerage to purchase MSTR. Right now, it's down a lot more as a percentage than Bitcoin. You can see that it is actually broken through the midline of the Bollinger Band here on the 4-hour. Again, this is a stock, not a crypto, but this is MicroStrategies, one of the top holders of Bitcoin, full stop. Mm-hmm. And, it's on a nice little discount here from its 2024 high, might even be its all-time high, 20% down currently. So I'm kind of licking my chops, kind of getting my my dry powder where it needs to be in order to maybe enter into and grow my position into MSTR. I have a little bit in like a kind of a tucked away account that I very rarely use, but I'm thinking about maybe putting a bigger position in my primary account. So we'll see. Overall, bringing up the Bitcoin charts here, I've been kind of tracking this triangle now that's starting to form here still on the 4-hour, but you could look at this on the daily probably with a little bit more usefulness. And this is kind of saying to me that this downward pressure that we're seeing right now, unless it really closes, which we could see today, unless it closes below this line here, 69,338. You could probably have a little bit of wiggle room to the upside on that, actually. So you may want to see it close a good bit above that. But a close above that is continued bullishness, in my opinion, because we just did what? We broke out to the upside. Now, we didn't break out very decisively, wasn't very convincing, and that's why we didn't push higher to break out of the platinum pocket here at the 0.887. However, you're also seeing only wicks down to the midline of the Bollinger Band here on the daily. Again, bullish, bullish, bullish. Right now, just what we're seeing is a little bit of hesitance to break out of this bullish kind of formation that, again, going to use the word bullish, looks good. And, I'm continuing to DCA. I'm definitely not seeing anything that's even coming close to trying to motivate me to sell Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think no matter how far we go down, I don't think this is the time to sell, because if we look at history, let's go back and do that real quick here on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's bull market crashes, I guess you could say. They happen. Like, it definitely happens. Here's a big one we saw back in January of 2021. Of course, a time period that we're kind of similar to back here in November of 2020. And you'll see it'll go down, but you'll see these massive wicks. And in this case, we kept going to the downside, but you'll see these massive wicks, and then price just shoots back up. A lot of people who sell on dips during bull markets end up not being able to buy back in even at the same price they sold, right? So a lot of people probably freaked out back here on January 11th, 2021. I bet you a lot of people freaked out saying, uh-oh, did I miss the top? All right, let me sell. Boom, they're going to sell somewhere here on 32,700, give or take. They sell on this wick. Maybe they even for a second think that this was a good sell part, but then the price bounces back up. They're like, oh, no, I just freaked out. Let me buy back in. They end up buying back in somewhere up towards 38,000. Then it dips again. Your best bet is to, with your large portfolio, ride it out. It is not time. There's no macro news right now that says that Bitcoin should reject and the bull market is done and we're going into a bear market. So I caution everybody, if you want to trade with a small portion of your portfolio, go for it. Try to sell tops, try to buy in some new lows, try to trade effectively. But when it comes to your portfolio, especially if you have not been in the game for years at this point, just sit and hodl. Just go ahead and ride it out. It's going to be volatile for a little while, especially as we're confused. Are we going to pump into the halving? Are we going to dip into the halving? Are we going to go sideways? According to 122 of you, the majority is saying going higher before the halving. 41% saying going higher for the halving. 21% says no, we'll hit, going lower. Sorry, I've read that wrong. 41% saying we're going lower. My bad, guys. Lower is what you guys are saying. 21% said no, we'll hit new highs soon. So it's pretty split. 37% said boring till halving. T-Shroom, what did you vote on this?
I think we're going to be boring into the halving.
Yeah, I think I'm in that camp as well.
Yeah, I mean, we might get some fireworks if this if this pattern can break out bullish and start making a move higher. But
Yeah.
we're actually seeing some chatter in the chat that I wanted to address here. Crux of Crypto, big shout out, said Bitcoin usually has around 6 to 8 quantity wise, 6 to 8, 30% plus retracements during a bull cycle. That's signaling the volatility. My guess that comes with cryptocurrency. My guess is that we don't see as much, and we also don't see as extreme volatility moving forward into this bull market. But I could easily be wrong with that.
I think, and again, I think that's a great point, Crux. And for anyone out there kind of agreeing with her, we've seen a couple of 20s already, right? So I think this, we've seen 4 20% retracements. I'm going to go ahead and put it out here. Is 20 the new 30, right? Is 20 what we've seen in past bull markets where we correct 30 to 40% is the new normal for this bull market, potentially 15 to 20% pullbacks, because we've seen a plethora of those. That's kind of what I'm sitting at now. So like whenever we start to correct everybody, my boat is kind of sitting when I see a 15%, 20% down, I'm buying on Bitcoin. Now I might not be buying Bitcoin itself, but I'll go buy the other altcoins. I think we're seeing a more mature market, which is another reason to think that we won't keep up all of the crazy gains we've made in bull markets past, where we do things like 40x and 10x. I think we're talking about a very modest climb up to probably from here another 2 to 3x. We're talking about somewhere around $200,000. But guess what? Yes, we won't have the same crazy gains we've had in previous bull markets, but we're also not going to have the crazy pullbacks, and also we're not going to have disastrous bear markets. My plan, very much so, when I'm convinced that I think that that's it for the bull market, I'm going to move all of my altcoins into Bitcoin, because I think at this point, I don't know if we'll ever see a pullback on Bitcoin greater than 50%. Because if the economy's doing well, if everything's going well, Bitcoin's going to be doing well because it's a store of wealth and everyone wants to store their wealth there. But especially if things start going bad, Bitcoin is the hedge of protection to protect your wealth. I just am struggling to see a scenario in the future, especially with the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, major countries starting to adopt Bitcoin as at least a form of legal tender. I don't see any reason for more than 50% pullbacks on Bitcoin anymore. That's not necessarily the case, though, for altcoins. Altcoins still can easily do bear markets of 70, 80, 90, because, again, those are more utility tokens, not store of value tokens. So when there's a period of time where they don't need the utility as much, those values will scale back quite dramatically. Bitcoin, on the other hand, though, is moving into a very mature market, and I think we're seeing the beginning signs of that. T-Shim, before we go into the news, because we do have to get there, let's talk Solana TA, and that'll take us directly into what we're going to be looking at when it comes to the news. Again, some interesting FUD articles today on April 1st, and don't get me wrong, there's some articles out there that are absolute jokes. I saw an article that said XRP is like XRP, SEC gives up lawsuit against XRP, and it skyrockets to $15. It's like, okay, that was pretty obvious. That's pretty ridiculous. But when I'm reading these Solana stories, I'm like, oh, these don't seem like fluff April Fool's pieces. This is looking legitimate. Let's talk about what those are. But first, let's get into the charts here. Now, currently, Solana on the daily chart, it looks like support's being held up here, right? When you come down to the 4-hour, though, what you're seeing is a long-term support level. And the fact is, I need to clean this up a little. There you go. Clean up a little bit. You guys can see we have not even have wicks go below this rising level of support. There's a very clean, like, rarely do you see rising support levels or resistance levels be this clean. But look how many touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just a plethora right through there. We've lost it, right? We've lost that support. And now, even though we're rallying back up to it, the question is going to be, can we close the candle back above this yellow line? Or was this simply a classic, you lose support and you rally back up to turn it into resistance, right? There's some signs that it's the negative side. Let's go back to the daily chart, where it's showing almost like it's closing a support. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we are seeing on the daily side, technically the Lux Algo indicator is saying, all right, we have some positivity here. The money flow is technically positive. It's above the bullish threshold. We have positive oscillators. There's excessive buyers. But notice it's keeling sideways. It's turning over. And I've told you guys, I love this indicator, and I do not enter shorts when I still see heavy money flow this bullish. But I do start to look for the patterns of how it will turn. And when I see the excessive buyers turning sideways, and I see the money flow going sideways, and I see a red reversal coming on the daily chart, I have to ask the question, is the bullishness coming to an end that sparked this most recent move? And we know from experience, when the excessive buyers leave, they leave in a hurry, and price usually corrects pretty heavily. We only have to go back here a couple of weeks, 2 weeks to March 18th to see big rally, and then the money flow and everything went south, and we had a nice little, what was this percentage? I've said this several times, and I always forget. Was it 30? Was it 20 something? I don't know. 22% correction in Solana within 3 days, right? Are we seeing a repeat? Well, how do you know if there's going to be a repeat? Let's take a look at what the 4 hour is saying with the oscillator. Oh, would you look at that 4 hour? If you guys had caught it correctly, and I just accidentally minimized it. If you had caught this correctly, what do we have? Bearish divergence with a red reversal triangle, bearish momentum on the oscillator, and bearish money flow. This was a short opportunity right here. And while the money flow isn't necessarily being very dramatic to the downside, it is flowing down there pretty strong. And again, with losing support, just bouncing back up to potentially turn to resistance, I don't necessarily feel too strong about that. We have a take profit that could bring us all the way down here towards an order block. Bullishly, 185. Negatively down here towards 173. Why is that? Order block, take profit, and green support band coming in right there. But here's another reason why potentially the 180, potentially even below it, is interesting. We go over here to high block. I told you guys I was looking at this earlier. Let's check out Solana over here and see where the heavy liquidations would take us. Are there some above? There's some. There's some that takes us up towards 220. But take a look currently. This is the 1 month. Look at where the heaviest and really only yellow liquidations are sitting here at 180. And rarely do you jump down just to the yellow line and stop. You usually travel a little bit below it. That could take us down here towards where? 173, 174, matching up just perfectly with this very strong 4 hour order lock down here towards 172, 173 area. I think there's a decent chance, just from the charts alone, that Solana looks like it could correct below $180, but that's not the only reason. This is a good time to go ahead and transition into our news, and we've got a couple of articles with reasons even more so why Solana could be about to cool off. T-Shroom, go ahead and take it away into the news.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, some of these articles are legitimately concerning for the price of Solana, but let me just say, I don't see like a huge dump coming for Solana. I see a technical pullback, as Tim just pointed out. There's a very compelling argument for that. But we are seeing some headlines here that may cause some Solana holders to have a little pause, to consider their holdings here. FTX bankruptcy estate to sell 41 million Solana tokens for $7.5 billion. Now, we've seen these types of headlines, Solana, associated with FTX for a while. At this point, I'm almost convinced that it's priced in, but what we haven't seen is there's actually selling of those Solana tokens, so that may have a little bit more of an effect on the markets there for Solana there. Now, Tim, is this something that you've been kind of waiting for, or do you think that this isn't really enough money to really move the markets?
Well, it is significant money. Let's check this out real quick, just so people can see it and be used to it. Go to my screen here. Solana currently the number 5 crypto. But if you don't count USDT, it should be number 4. Currently sitting at 85 billion. Now, earlier, let's see. I think that I did see this. I'm not wrong. I think I saw this. I'm not going to make too big of a deal about it. I thought I saw this at 88 maybe yesterday or whatever. So it's already correcting a decent amount. Either way, 7 billion. Is it going to destroy it? No, it wouldn't even be enough. Let's say they took all 7.5 billion out in one day. It still would stay at number 5 because the next closest token, XRP, is sitting down at 33 billion. But we are talking about not quite 10% of its total supply, but somewhere in the 8-ish region, 8 point something region, pushing towards 9%. That would be a big hit if it all came out at the same time. That's not going to happen. That doesn't make any sense, because if I'm sitting here holding $7.5 billion worth of Solana, I want to if I want to try to make money, I want to sparse that out as much as I can and let people buy the dips and build the price back up. However, it is something that does hurt bullish momentum. Like you could see this be something that keeps Solana from potentially rising while other tokens are rebounding because they have this sell pressure from FTX alone. And I want to preface this by saying, if the only story we saw today was FTX, that would be enough to say, all right, there could be a cool off in the price of Solana. But we have two other stories here as well that are kind of stacking up with multiple people, not just FTX, thinking they should be selling their Solana right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the next one would be this. Whales sent over 806,000 Solana to Coinbase following drop below 200. As we saw in the charts, the Solana price has dropped down below $200 per coin. And here on Whale Alerts, you can see that there's been a transfer of that amount to Coinbase. Now, Tim, when coins get transferred to Coinbase, what does that usually mean for folks who don't know? Why is that significant?
Yeah, so in case anyone is new here, has not been in crypto for a while, there are these things, there's these centralized exchanges. You probably know of the ones like Coinbase and Uphold and KuCoin, who's under scrutiny right now, and several others. But that's a place where you can buy and sell crypto, but it's not technically yours. There's this sentence in crypto called not your keys, not your crypto. So right now, if you have $70,000 of crypto on Coinbase, for example, do you technically have that? No, you don't. In the same way of you would trust your bank that your bank's going to give you your money back. But technically speaking, when you put your money in your bank and that bank goes solvent, you just lost all your money, no repercussions whatsoever. If something were to happen to Coinbase and they go down, you lose all of your money. There's this other thing called cold wallets or self-storage, where you can take your money off of these exchanges, these public centralized exchanges, and you can store it privately. It's hidden behind keys. I won't go into the full history of what that is, but at the end of the day, you get keys. Nobody can touch that crypto except for you and anyone else who has your keys, has your seed phrase. What happens in a season of strong bullishness, if there's an expectation that prices should be going to the upside, you will see a mass amount of people taking their money off of centralized exchanges where it's easy to get in and get out, and they'll move them over into cold wallets where it's very hard, but that crypto is very strongly protected because it's in a decentralized wallet. It's in your wallet or no one else can touch it. In a season where price has run and it's really high and the expectation is it's time for price to cool off and go to the downside, people will move their Solana or their Cardano or their Bitcoin or whatever from their cold wallets back into the centralized exchange like Coinbase because they're preparing to sell them for some cash because they're expecting price to dip down. So in this case, when we see whales moving a large chunk of Solana back onto exchanges because of $200, that is those whales saying Solana's overextended right now. It's time to take some profits. I'm moving them back on exchange so I can sell them and then go find something else to buy.
Yeah. And we're getting that today. And that's essentially what we're seeing. Now they could be rotating into Jupe, right? They could be diversifying into other Solana coins that are utility or meme coins if they're wanting to go and hang out at the crypto casino. But overall, I'd say that this is something to monitor. If you're a Solana hodler, which it looks like we have a couple here in the chat, I count myself among them. I'm a Solana hodler. This does not have me shaking in my boots. But if I have some more dry powder coming my way, Solana may not be the allocation that I'm looking to make right now, just because it has been very overbought relative to other cryptos and relative to its own price history. And now we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback. This could be the cool off that does test some lower levels, as Tim pointed out. And, I would rather buy then. I would rather buy when it's lower than when it's higher. Overall, though, I still have a ton of confidence in Solana. We do have one more story here.
Real quick, Vaden Tradfi asked a good question. Said, BROZ, could they be staking them instead of selling? Technically, yes. What I would ask, though, again, especially with these being whale wallets, do they think the best place to stake them is on Coinbase? I feel like there's a lot of other better options. So is that possible? Yes, that's possible. But what's interesting about it is that it's not happening at a random price. It's specifically because the price has gotten above 200. And before we move on here, T-Stream, let me go back to the charts and explain to people, because I see someone saying, don't bet against Solana. It's the raging bull of this bull market. And they're absolutely right. But I want you guys to take a look at something here on the charts. Remember, we talked about what's new and what's normal for pullbacks. Well, Solana, of course, went really, really low after FTX, had this huge rally, and then had this was more than a 50% pullback. We went from being at 26 all the way down, touched 1287. That's more than 50%, right? Then we rallied from here all the way up to 32. We pulled back down to 17. Again, barely less than 50%. So we've had 50% pullbacks. I'm not even going to count those, right? I'm just going to talk about what has Solana done since it got explosive here in October, right? We rally up to here in December, and guess how big of a pullback we had? I think it's about 36, 38%. I can't remember which one it is. 36% pullback, okay? What that tells me is that is a normal pullback for explosive price action. We had the explosive fall into December. The December hit, January came, we cooled off, and then Solana blasted and melted faces once again. We've already shown it once in this cycle it's possible. I don't think it's ridiculous to think that potentially you could see another 35% pullback. We've already seen 22, and remember, the 180 I'm talking about isn't even close. The 173, 180 area, we're only talking about 16% pullback. 36 would be a pullback all the way back down to about 130, give or take. I want you guys to know that is not ridiculous. Let's just pretend this happened. Let's pretend it came back down to 133, give or take, and then bounced and went and set new highs, right? Zoom out. That is not a bearish looking chart. That is still extremely bullish with these higher highs and higher lows. I'm still looking at that coin and saying, man, that's a good buy. But what I will tell you is, with my price prediction, and I think a lot of other people are going to be in the same boat of somewhere between 1,000, maybe best case scenario, we start pushing towards 1,600 on Solana, right? We're still talking about somewhere between a $500 to $700 billion market cap. Massive gains for Solana. Well, when you're at 200, you're sitting a 5x, maybe best case scenario, an 8x away. That's not a lot of gains left compared to other altcoins. But then you come back down here. Let's say we do get a dip back down towards 133. Now we're talking about potential 8x to potentially 11 to 12x. That's a good investment, but it's only going to happen if Solana actually corrects in a way that if it has an explosive run to the upside, don't be surprised to see a hefty pullback that still sets higher lows in a bull market. Don't just think charts can go up and up and up and up and up in an explosive manner without steep corrections. Those do not happen in any market, including crypto. You're setting yourself up for a lot of confusion and disappointment if that's how you believe markets move.
Absolutely. And just real quickly, rounding out these articles about Solana here, right? We're not trying to pile on Solana. It's not like we're sitting here, thirsting for Solana to drop because we're short. To the extent that we want Solana to go down, it's so that we can have more Solana, buy more Solana cheaper, right? That should be your MO in trading and investing, to at least lower your cost basis, so that when you do go ahead and sell, you sell for more profit. But with that said, right now we're seeing more and more indications that there could be a bigger chance of a pullback. Whales sent over 806 Solana to Coinbase following drop below 200. We covered that, but there's some details here. According to the data from Whale Alerts, 4 whale addresses, so it's not just one, sent a total of 806,000 Solana tokens worth 158 million at the time of writing to Coinbase. The large whale movements come as Solana price fell below 200 mark. So I think we've covered it pretty thoroughly. Mm-hmm. Again, Solana is definitely one of the bells of the ball here in crypto. It's been able to get up in the top 10 and very convincingly and stay there. And, it's an impressive coin. The meme ecosystem around Solana has been extremely impressive. It's definitely given Ethereum a run for its money with the gas fees, and the speed are uncomparable. Far superior. But that doesn't mean that the underlying asset itself isn't being traded by whales, right? It doesn't mean that it's any less valuable. It's just being traded by people who are there to make money. They're there to gain for themselves, and if they can do that, that there is an incentive to do that, and sometimes that involves selling rather large lots of the underlying asset. So just be wary, be careful. It doesn't mean you should sell, right? It just means understand that it's a traded asset. It's not just a value go up and price go up forever. There are definitely more dynamics than that. Another coin that kind of caught my eye This has been catching the attention of the investing bros internet computer, and it's seeing diminishing enthusiasm as price momentum slows. Again, doesn't mean it's a bad coin, doesn't mean it's a bad project. It's just we're starting to see indications of momentum slowing. Now that could be much more temporary than Cardano, or Cardano, Solana. But we shall see. What do you think? Have you been taking a look at the ICP charts, Tim, to kind of monitor?
I hope people are beginning to slowly but surely realize coins have hot seasons and cold seasons. Ultimately, I think that we're coming from Solana talking about ICP. You kind of mentioned Cardano a little bit. Other Solana, what it has done this bull market so far has been amazing, and I want to make sure you guys understand that. That is my opinion. It has been amazing, but it's not normal. So for everyone to say, "Oh, we have to compare every other altcoin's momentum and price action and thought process to Solana," that's not a fair comparison. And again, you're setting yourself up for a little bit of surprise and disappointment. Ultimately, altcoins have seasons of excitement and seasons of boringness. Every single coin at one point in a market is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you have to buy it. And then you'll have a moment or probably a month where it's like, oh, this project is over. It's done. Get rid of it. And as soon as you sell your tokens, it takes off. When you talk about ICP, I want to make sure people are thinking about this correctly, because I'm not here to give you financial advice, but check out my chart here, T-shirt. When we talk about excitement with ICP, right? So we had an exciting, fall, just like everything else. December was really, really good. Then we kind of got sideways trading action, and it got really exciting for about 1 week, starting on March 20th, right? So March 20th, we dipped down, we touched $10.60, and then we rally, and we actually break a rising level of resistance on what could be considered a bull flag. All right, right? So we had a week of excitement. Now, just because we aren't back up at $21, we're waning momentum. That's what the news is going to tell you. And guys, read the news. I think the news is very important. But check out a chart once or twice. This is very, very bullish. To break through a level of resistance that had been stopping all bullish momentum, and now to turn around and to turn it into support, that's bullish. That's very bullish. So I don't care if the news is boring. What I know is this hype is based off legitimate hype. The community is growing. It had such a ferocious week that it has to cool off a little bit, but ultimately, I think that it's right on track to be very bullish and to do something crazy like shoot up, back up here towards six. I think I said in a video, don't be like $60 is really bullish. I don't know if it's going to do it in the same timeline. It went from down here in October up to this high, but I definitely think ICP is going to get to $60. In fact, my revised price predictions, after originally saying my tops are going to be between 90 and 143, I think we could hit somewhere in this range by the end of 2024. And then by the end of 2025, we're talking about somewhere between 250 to 350 for ICP price predictions. Do not get flooded out because of 4 days of sideways, boring price action. Check out a chart to see what's the health of the price action. Is it retracing to find something that's bullish, setting a higher low, like we are seeing here on ICP, like what we were just talking about with Solana? If that's what you can find, that'll keep you in a spot of not freaking out and just doing whatever you see in an article over on Cointelegraph or Coin whatever,
CoinDesk,
there's so many CoinDesk, CoinCrypt, all of the coins. You're going to see people putting out a lot of news, just trying to get you to read their news article, and sometimes there'll be a little too much FOMO, sometimes there'll be a little too much FUD. You got to learn how to sift through that and then use the real information from the news combined with the charts to make the wisest investing opportunities you can. ICP, bullish, as someone put it with a 2 O's. Bullish with 2 O's.
Absolutely. Tim, here's an excellent example of exactly what you're talking about. This is CNBC, so real mainstream finance news. Bitcoin drops more than 70,000. Bitcoin drops below 70,000 to kick off April, right? This is a pessimistic headline, right? In a time where Bitcoin is somewhat at a decision point, a little bit vulnerable, right? So what are they trying to do here? Do they think that Bitcoin is going to zero? No, they're just trying to highlight Bitcoin, which is hot news in financial media, and try to bring a little bit do what they can to bring the prices lower, right? For those who want to buy at lower prices. This does not mean that you should sell. This does not mean that you should, mortgage your home and even go, higher risk into Bitcoin if you're already adequately exposed, right? And one thing that come to mind, Tim, when you were chatting there, is that you should have two different accounts, at least two accounts. One is an investment HODL portfolio, right? If you feel comfortable investing in crypto at all, having a HODL portfolio where you kind of just buy and don't really do a whole lot of selling or swapping, that's a really good thing to have. In contrast, a trading portfolio, which we use Blofin because you can get leverage on Blofin in the United States, and that's going to be two different types of accounts, right? One is investing, you just kind of buy, you don't do a whole lot of selling until the end of the bull market, and the other is trading, where you could be selling and buying every 5 seconds, right? If you're really, 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 really crazy and want to give yourself a headache every single day. But making sure that you don't do a lot of trading in your investing account, and making sure that you don't treat your trading account like an investing account, those are going to be paths to success. If you don't do that already, think about it. Really consider why you're not and how you can take steps to make that happen. Getting the Blofin account is actually, one of the best steps to make that happen, because then you have a trading account. Boom. Don't treat it like an investment account. And if you're getting this wrong, if you're doing exactly the wrong thing that I just described, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just take those initial steps. Get the ball rolling towards a more healthy and more mature approach to investing and to trading. So that's really good. Overall, though, I did want to highlight one more thing, Tim, which is oil prices.
We had a question real quick before we leave Solana too much.
Go for it.
Legrand Commission. I don't know if that's correct or not. But hi, great show. Thank you so much for that. I see Solana went to 210, dropped to 160. That's almost a 25% drop. If that's not enough, is that not enough of a correction? It could be. It could be. We didn't have the same bearish news we just went through. But remember on the charts, while I laid out a potential move to like 133 could be realistic based off what Solana's corrected, I didn't call for a 133. I called for a move back down barely below 180. We're talking about 173 to 180. So there's a good chance that maybe that was the 160 was the bottom. I don't know if I'm waiting. If I'm trying to add more Solana to my bag, I don't know if I'm waiting for a 133. If I absolutely think I need to have more Solana in my portfolio, I'm probably looking at 180, 175 as my safe, not quite the bottom, but close enough buy-in order next. But Legrand, great point. I mean, yeah, it's 25%. We're just sitting here saying I think there's a chance with a coin that's been as explosive as Solana, 30 to 35% could still be in play. So we just don't want people freaking out. Like if price drops below 160 and keeps going down, we don't want people selling their Solana thinking that the bull market's over. We want you to know we could drop all the way to 133, and that's a normal, healthy correction for Solana to continue this very strong bull market. People just need to be prepared for what dips could look like, even if they don't make any financial moves off of them.
Absolutely. DPG 604 saying it plainly. I have only bought since 2018. I don't even know how to sell my coins. LOL. So holding through multiple market cycles here is DPG 604. Really impressive. Obviously, that is diamond hands in the truest sense. And that is also very, very good proof of another investing principle, which is never invest more than you can afford to lose. The fact that they have never sold coins is evident of what? They never had to sell their crypto to be able to pay rent, to feed their dog, to feed themselves, right? To give Christmas gifts, right? If you're only investing what you can afford to lose, it's the best way to invest. Tim, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, in chat, I want people to comment in chat what year. You don't need to put like what month or anything unless you really want to. Comment what year is the first year you will even considering taking profit on your big bag of crypto, right? So if it's 2024, put 2024. If it's 2025, say 2025. But I think there's a lot of people who have a mindset. They're like, I'm not selling crypto for the next 20, 30 years of my life. Put the year you plan on selling your crypto or taking some profit. I'm interested to see what you guys are thinking there. T-Shirt, we can keep moving on, though. I know it's 3:50. We still have a Factoid of the day. Yep. We have to announce the 3 winners of our giveaway from Saturday's show. Mm-hmm. We still have a good amount to do on this show today. So It's good having you back, though. I love the back and forth that we've gotten. It is so much nicer than doing a show by yourself. I'm very glad to have you here with me today.
It's good to be back. It's great to be back. And, I do love the flow of the show. I watch a lot of shows. I watch a lot of crypto shows. I love them. And there's something about the flow of the two hosts. Let us know. Do you like our flow? Should we be more snarky, more sarcastic, or should we be just more crypto focused and not try to joke around? Let us know. What do you want? Does that mean we're going to change it to what you want? No. But maybe.
There's a chance.
There's a chance. There's a chance that you're the next top YouTube consultant out there, and we need your input. Oil prices have been seeing a little bit of a move higher here, up to 83. Of course, there's actually some breaking news we're probably not going to cover, but there's been some escalation in the Middle East, and that is likely what we're seeing here on the weekly chart. There's been a creeping up, but then a continued push higher. Bollinger Band's expanding here on the weekly. Not a great recipe for what that could mean for inflation, but that is going to be a just a little update there. The Dixie, also you're seeing something kind of similar here. Man, it has completely retraced all of this loss. We want this one to go down, guys. We want the Dixie to go down. This is the purchasing power of the dollar. You might be hearing that and be like, T-Shroom, but I'm gonna not be able to buy as many bananas or as many Teslas with my dollar. Well, you shouldn't have dollars. You should have crypto, not financial advice. But here we are seeing the Dixie coming back up, and does that spell trouble for crypto? I mean, not if you look at the Bitcoin price chart and Ethereum price chart. We're still selling on the weekly. We're still seeing those prices go up and to the right, alongside a movement higher for the Dixie. So that's a little check-in on the global macro. We'll be checking into this much more when we have Caleb Franzen, our macro expert, on the show on Caleb Franzen Wednesdays. Always a great time to tune in. Tim, we do have a factoid, and we do have some announcements to make. I'm very excited for those. What do you want to sink our teeth into first, Tim?
Probably the factoid of the day. I think a lot of people are waiting for it. They missed it. They didn't get a factoid on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I think there's some people that went into a mild depression over the Easter weekend, but of course Jesus saved them from that, so that's good to know. But they're ready. They're ready for their factoid of the day today.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, today's factoid of the day is brought to you by the Investing Bros. That's right. It's brought to you by the Investing Bros Discord. You can join, become a member of YouTube, and then you get access to our paid Discord. Now, if you're thinking, well, Batish Room, I want to see the Discord. I want to see the money first, right, before I make the exchange. We get it. That's why we have a free link in the description of this very video. You can go check it out, and you will actually get free access to our Discord. But the paid version gets you access to a lot more. It gets you access to some of the trading we do and some of the coins we're taking a look at. And bros, we're going to be doing a whole lot more in that Discord, so you'll want to get access to it as soon as you possibly can. Now let's go ahead and get to the factoid of the day, brought to you by iTrust Capital. The logo's right ahead of me, right on top of me right here. And the link to iTrust Capital, your one-stop shop for crypto IRA and precious metal IRA, is in the link below me, down in the description. Tim, which U.S. state has the most electoral votes? Is it A, Florida, B, New York, C, Texas, or D, California?
It's California. I don't need Gia today. I don't need others. Can I get bonus points if I say the number?
Yes.
Last I checked, now it could have changed because it's been some time.
Sure.
But the last I remember, it was 51. I'm pretty sure Texas was 49. New York, I want to say 30 something.
All right, hold your horses.
Florida was 29.
Wait, so for California, you said 51?
I'm pretty sure it was 51. 51.
51. Florida was what?
29.
29. Okay, putting our foots in our mouth today. And what was New York?
I don't know, but 36. I don't know. 30 something. I think.
Texas. Did you want to take a wild swing on Texas here?
I think 49.
49. All right. Electoral votes, by the way, guys, are complicated. So do your own research on them. Were you right? Let's see.
Oh, I was off. These have changed for sure.
Sorry.
At one point, these numbers were right.
Cali. So you got the answer right here.
I got the answer right. Okay.
But
so no bonus
if you
points.
Take a look at the Dixie. It is irrelevant to this question. Yeah. So California 54, Florida
30.
is.
Okay. I was closest probably.
Florida was 29. So you were close on that one. Texas is 40. You guessed 49. Way off on that one.
Yeah, I was pretty far off on that one.
And then New York was 28, and you guessed 36. Okay. So pretty far off there. This is actually CNN.com. It's kind of cool. You can build your
No,
own
this is this
prediction.
year. Can you change the year? Can we go back to 2020 and then 2016? Can you see the different years? Because at one point, I'm pretty certain I remember looking at one of those in California had 51, and I know Florida was 29. I remember having conversations years ago. It was, but I remember talking about how Florida had 29 points.
Okay. And you wanted to look at 1 year? What year?
Could you use it? Could you look at 2020?
This looks like one where you have a little bit more autonomy on what you see. All of you guys who are tuning in for the crypto, you're getting American political outcomes. You're welcome. Now, what did you want to see specifically here, Tim?
Go over Florida. Does it tell you how many points for Florida? 29.
It only does the popular vote.
Nope, it says 29. It says 29 electoral votes right there. Go over Texas.
There you go.
Okay, 38. So I don't know where I was going with Texas. Texas, I was way off. Go to California.
55.
Oh, 55. They're going down. Then maybe I'm thinking of election report. Go to New York. I don't think I was off.
29.
Right on New York. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what year I was looking at. I was pretty sure New York was bigger than Florida, though. The last one I was looking at that I remember thinking about the points. But anyway, I got it right. California. 54, though. I'll know now. I'll know. 54. Texas. I thought Texas was closer. I thought Texas was a little closer to California, but apparently not.
Now, riddle me this, Tim. Oh, this is the. Oh, I see. This is the 2020 election.
That's 2020 election, and then the other one was that what expectation at this point?
This is the expectation from CNN. For 2024.
Oh, that's not. If CNN's already predicting a loss for the Democrats, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's
a higher chance for a loss here for the Democrats, but there's probably still a higher chance for a win for the Democrats. We'll see. Kind of reading between the lines. No, too tinfoily there, Tim. It's okay. It's okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Stay on the surface with the normies, Tim. We get it. We get it.
Okay. We have a super chat here from RC Moore. Now, RC, I responded to this, but I'll respond to it again. And thank you for the super chat. He said, "Where do you buy CAS? Blofin does not have it." Well, I don't know. Does Blofin not have it? You can trade.
No, Caspa for sure has. Blofin has Caspa.
Can you spot trade it? Can you buy?
Probably not.
I wonder.
I don't think so. You can definitely trade it because I have.
Yeah,
but if you're wondering,
I traded on there as well.
Yeah, just go to the. It's like the fourth link in the description here of this video that you're watching now. Go to the Uphold Wallet here is where you can buy good old Caspa here, and you actually support the channel. So the fees that you use to buy Caspa actually go to. We get some of those fees here to help support the channel. It's not a lot. It's not like you're not like we're raking it in, but if you're going to buy Caspa somewhere, you might as well support the bros.
Yeah, other people coming in chat with some suggestions. MEXC is a place you can. Again, MEXC is one we do caution, and it's not just because Blofin and MEXC are technically competitors, because they have some similar details. I just want you guys to know, do what you want, but I do have some serious concerns about MEXC moving forward. Uphold is another one you can do it. And I told you guys a very scary story on Saturday of I have Uphold account. I've even bought Caspa on Uphold, but for the first time, instead of moving money like from Coinbase to Uphold, which was an exchange to exchange scenario, I tried to move money directly from my bank account to Uphold. And T-Shirt, I don't know if you even heard this story. I went to go put money onto Uphold from my bank account, and I was in limbo for over a week. The money did not make it. And eventually it went back to my bank account, but it's like literally Uphold rejected my bank investment. I don't know what happened. But for a week, my money was nowhere. I just lost all the money I went to invest in Uphold. So I don't know how much I'm doing that anymore. So what? Oh, I mean, yeah, that's ultimately I got a hold of support and via like chat. Like I didn't get a phone call or anything. I'm just sitting there emailing back and forth. And I don't even know what happened. They didn't even tell me what happened. I never got a message from Uphold saying what happened. All of a sudden, I just had the money back in my bank account. So I was like, okay, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Eric Wallen says it's not Uphold's fault, it's the bank's. I don't know what happened. All I know is the bank has no problem moving money into Coinbase, but it seemed to have some problems moving into Uphold for me. But again, it might have been a specific situation. Yeah. Moho asks, what's sketchy about MEXC?
That's for another time.
Well, it's not really for another. We can answer that. It's very quick, very quick. We've said it before. The problems that happen with Blofin in the DOJ, not Blofin. The problems that with Binance and the DOJ, Binance has money to settle and move along. MEXC does not have as much money as Binance does. They're doing some of the same things like offering trading and purchasing in areas that have sanctions in them. There's rumors the DOJ is about to go after MEXC, and it could get pretty ugly pretty fast.
Yeah.
Is that possible to be false? Is that possible that's not going to happen for 12 months? Maybe. All I know, though, is that it's not somewhere. If you guys want to hold your money there, that's fine. I am saying Tim Warren does not feel comfortable holding money on MEXC, knowing what I know could come within the next couple of months, potentially even sooner.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, as we're nearing the end of our show, one thing that comes to mind is iTrust Capital. If you're looking to learn more about it, I just put out a video on it. It's this Grow Your Stacks video here. Definitely go check that out. If you're interested, if you've heard Tim and I talk about iTrust Capital, you're like, I'm not really sure. It seems too complicated. Go watch the video. It'll answer a lot of questions. Do we expect every single person that watches the video to set up an account? No, but it's a good way to kind of further educate, further understand what exactly a crypto IRA is for your crypto and precious metals. So, Tim, I'm absolutely loving it. iTrust Capitals, they've been great. Super great to work with so far.
And Smay trusts them too. Smay trusts iTrust Capital. That was
Yes.
I remember he was always one of his favorite ad reads to read back when we were doing Coffee and Crypto. He loved when it was iTrust Capital Day.
That reminds me, Tim. We already posted it here in the Discord, but we got a special treat because I saw Smay at Easter Sunday. We were in our Easter best. So I'm gonna get that picture really quick, quick.
He's looking good.
He is.
He's looking very good. The dude is he's borderline the Goggins 2.0.
That's right. He's coming for you. Make sure you're checking your wife and your girlfriend's DMs and everything, because this guy right here, he might be having some chitter chatter. Of course, that's a joke.
Smay is a stud. Smay is a stud. He's still single, ladies. So shoot your shot.
Who do you think was better dressed for Easter Sunday, Tim?
Let's see here.
Because he had the button down, but I had the belt.
All right. Now, I want to start by saying Tim Warren is the last person who should be judging fashion. I have none. But it's Easter Sunday. Right. Easter, traditionally, people go in crazy colors, so I got to give him the edge on colors. But you tucked your shirt in. So you win. I don't even know what I call that. He wins colors and you win professionalism. I don't know.
Sure.
You are wearing sunglasses. Were you high on Easter Sunday? I don't know. His are clear. I can see straight through them.
So Tim, you see the ground behind us, that white concrete?
Yeah, it bounces hard, yeah.
When I'm walking out of church on Sunday morning, it is very bright. And you're also coming out of basically a movie theater, which is, the inside of the church. They have it real dark. I'm not really sure why churches do that, but it's very dark, and then you come outside and it's like, boom. So if you didn't see the light on the inside of the church, you're definitely going to see it on the way outside.
Interesting.
That's deep. That might be our quote of the day tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Our points STR says Binnacle ended up being just fine, and he meant Binance. Binance was just fine after paying the record for largest fines ever to the Department of Justice. MEXC does not have that same bank account that Binance has.
The Binance brand is just fine, but the internal operations of Binance is basically just an extension of the global financial regulatory system at this point. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, I'd say, but it's no longer under CZ's control, which also isn't necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just different, right? So there were definitely some heads that rolled, even at the top. Gotta love it.
Yep.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to love that. You don't.
You have to, actually, legally. You do.
We got some winners to announce, Tim.
We do. Okay, so in case people are wondering, I was drinking a very fun concoction of. I had two different drinks on Saturday, and I told the chat if they guessed one of them, they got $100. If they guessed both of them, I would do three $100 giveaways. They did guess them. I have started every single morning drinking yerba mate tea. Supposed to be really good for you. Clean energy. It's good for your gut health. It's a better alternative to coffee. So I've been drinking yerba mate tea. They guessed that, and I was also drinking some good old Element electrolyte water. Trying to trying to not get dehydrated. Ultimately, with all
Hey,
that caffeine, once you want to pee out, but gotta stay hydrated.
I can get
So
behind that.
yeah, it's a great system. We're not sponsored by either one of those. Element, or any brand of yerba mate tea. You guys want to sponsor Investing Bros? Reach out, and we'll get you going here. But anyway, they guessed my drinks, so I told them we would give away to 3 lucky winners in our Discord. We would give away $100 to each of them. I want you guys to know we're going to do, especially as the bull market is coming back. Tishu and I both heavily believe that when you are blessed, you're blessed to bless other people. So as we continue to grow as a channel and sponsors keep rolling in and you guys keep watching and you're joining the memberships and you're engaging with us and we're making money, we want to give back and bless you guys as well. So we're doing a lot more giveaways, but you do got to be in the Discord because ultimately most of them are going to happen over there. The 3 lucky winners selected. Number 1, are we doing drum roll for each one of them? Number 1, that is a spit take. There it goes. Blackie Chan is our first $100 winner. We're going to reach out to Blackie Chan over there on Discord. But if you're in here right now, Blackie Chan, oh yeah, he is here. He's here. Give us something. I don't know. Say something in chat and then we'll read it out. The second winner of our giveaway is Warrior4588X. Don't know if that's the same name in YouTube, but over in Discord, it is Warrior4588X. And the third winner is Simply Dana, I think, Dana. Simply Dana is our third winner. If they're not here, we'll reach out to them in Discord, because, of course, in Discord, it's easy to get a hold of people. But congratulations to our 3 winners. Me, I'm the winner. Bit Anito. Which one are you, Bit Anito? Are you Warrior 45? If that is the case, then you are the winner. And Simply Dan is here. Okay, all 3 of our winners are here in chat. Guys, we're going to reach out to you on Discord, because the other thing about these giveaways is we're not going to send them probably in the crypto fashion. More than likely, T-Shirt, have we been Venmoing our winners? How are we distributing our winners?
Just USDC over Polygon or Solana.
Yeah. Perfect.
The good
we're
stuff.
Going to make sure we're going to get you guys information, and you guys will get your $100. Spend it wisely and however you want. And if you want to give it away, give it away. When
Crypto
you're
After
blessed,
Dark
you're blessed to
said,
bless other people.
T-Shroom is my winner. And we actually, Eric Wallen just sent me a picture of him. He's very disappointed. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
Maybe next time. Now, Tim, there's some folks that are asking, how do they apply to win next time?
Well, you watch the show, because sometimes we don't even know when we're going to give things away. I am thinking about I'll tell you guys right now, I'm thinking about doing a potential trading giveaway. So all of our members who are in Blofin and they come in and they trade with us, I'm thinking about doing a giveaway over there. You do have to become a member of the channel and you get into our trading group. But I think I'm going to start doing some weekly giveaways with our trading group. I think from time to time when we hit new subscriber goals, like goals, we'll have them random. We'll just kind of be feeling special, and all of a sudden one day we're gonna be like, listen, let's give some money away today, and then we'll tell you guys in that show how to win. But that means you gotta hit the like buttons on the videos, you gotta hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bells, don't miss a single piece of content, because you never know when you'll get your next chance to get a free giveaway. But if you watch every show, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out for sure.
Tim, you know what? Another way you can get a free $100.
Ooh, there's another way.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I trust you to come up with a good way to do it.
This is not a joke, guys. This is real. For those of you who are in the United States, if you set up an account with iTrust Capital, you will get a free $100 that you can invest in crypto, or you can keep it in dollars. You can buy gold or silver with it. Obviously, if it was me and I was getting a free $100, I would probably buy Ethereum or maybe Bitcoin. Maybe even Solana, although we talked about today why maybe Solana might be a little overbought. Anyway, free $100, free $100 to you. Not a joke. That's a real thing. Just click the link. I think it's one of the first links, if not the first link, in the description of the very video that you are feasting your beautiful eyes upon as I speak.
Wow. Moho says we're all winners gaining valuable knowledge.
Dang.
What a good answer right there. See, that is the political friendly and very, very courteous answer, Moho. Yeah. Am I wrong to be rooting for Moho to win the next one?
No. I think that's great, because that is the right way to try to get your comment read, is to
I want you guys to know. I want you to know, I didn't go in and say, I mean, I like Blackie Chan, and I don't know them very well, but I'm sure Warrior 45 and Simply Dana are great people. I'm sure I would love them. But I choose randomly. So I'm going to root for Moho and Drew P as well. I really like Drew P. I'm rooting for you guys to win future giveaways. I do not have control, though, because it is random. That's the most fairest way to do it. If you get mad at me, get mad at the hat. This is ultimately, don't get mad at Virginia Tech, just this specific helmet. It's where I do my random giveaways. I write things down and then I, like that, you know. So
That's right.
It's the fairest way to do it, guys. Fairest way to do it. Let's see here. We do probably need to go. We got to run into another meeting here. Let's do just a little bit more here with chat. I'll win next time, says Bituendo. Oh, Bituendo. I've been reading that wrong this whole time. That's a clever name. That's a clever name right there. Drew P says, I'll never be mad at you, buddy. That's good, Drew, because I was contemplating which pillow I was going to cry into tonight if you were upset with me. So that's saved me a pillow. So there we go. That's probably gonna wrap up today's show. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have more Q&A. We didn't really do too much TA Q&A today. We did cover a lot of grounds, gave you a lot of basis. Of course, as always, we'll let you guys know, you want to know more TA? Join the members, come into Discord, tag me and say, Tim, what are you thinking about such and such and such and such coin? Or blah, 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 blah coin? Or what do you think about life? And I will answer your questions to the best of my ability as fast as possible. With that said, though, we love each and every single last one of you guys. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. You guys have a fantastic day. Adios.
Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Investing